All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out here toiling in his truth. And Shalom to the few sisters, the Akwatim, who listen and learn in silence. To all of you, I say Shalom. I'm the brother Pathakamoth, Jim S. Dallas. Real quick, man, just a really quick hit, milk lesson, because we've done these lessons before. But I saw these images, I had them, and I was about to delete them, cleaning out my phone, and I was like, you know what, I could get a little edification in and do a little quick hit lesson before I delete them. Just going into who Esau is, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible clearly describes this dude, man. You know what I'm saying? And you got a lot of camps and cats out here, that want to say that it's Japheth. And there's so many things that just doesn't line up with that. Japheth ain't in end time prophecy. Japheth was never, is not anywhere in prophecy to rule in end times. It's just, come on, man. The scriptures say Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So the final rulership before the kingdom of heaven and Jacob's rule, the Israelite rule, by way of our big brother Yahweh Shai, is Esau, man. He's the end of the world, So it's not hard, man. We see who's in power, bro. And they're clearly the red people, because as you can see on the screen, man, look at this dude, man. And I love these type of pictures because he's got on a red hat with white letters. Then he's got on a white shirt with a red tie. So when you look at his skin color, his skin tone, what does his skin tone closer resemble? The white letters on the red hat, or the white shirt with the red tie? Or do they closely resemble the red tie and the red hat? Well, you're seeing it, very clearly and to the point, man. They call themselves white, which they self-proclaimed themselves that in 1681. That's a social construct. You know what I'm saying? It's not real. That was to control the narrative, man. But you can clearly see which one he closer resembles. The red hat and the red tie, man. The white shirt, no. The white letters on the hat, no. So how can you go around proclaiming yourself to be white? Stop, man. You're red, man. Which lines up with the Bible. As a matter of fact, real quick, let's look at his partner next to him right there. Took one of him too. Let's zoom in on this dude real quick. Look at this dude, man. Look at this ear, man. Look at that ear. Well, you can see it like in the tip of the nose of, you can see that red on Trump, but we focusing on this cat right here right now. Look at this. Look at the ear, man. Look at that. That ear is clearly red. The color of that hat. You see the collar of the shirt, that white collar right there. That's not the color of his skin, man. His skin tone is more closer to this red hat right here, man. That you see in the top of the frame right here by his ear. You see right there in the side of the neck, going down the side of the neck right there in the back, from the back. You see it. Then let's move around. And you see it right there in the cheekbones and going up under the eye. You see it on the nose, the bridge of the nose and through the nose. You see it around the lips. He's got hair, so it's hard to see through where the hair is. But you can see in the forehead, around the forehead. Red, man. You can clearly see that. These people are red, man. They're not white. He's not the color of that shirt. No, bro. He's colored his hat right here. He's colored that hat right there. Just like the Trump's nose. Look at that nose, man. Nah, these people are the red people on the planet, man. They're not Japheth. They're Edomites. And the scriptures clearly back that. So real quick, let's go to the scriptures real quick. And let's get it. This is Genesis chapter 25. Salakia. Genesis chapter 25. And we're going to jump down to verse 25 and get to the point. It says, "And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau." There it is. The first came out red. And it says like a hairy garment, not red and hairy, No, man. Even though they can be hairy, don't get it twisted. They can be hairy and be very hairy. One of the you know, to prove that, which I don't think he's an Edomite. I think he's a Jake. Chuck Norris in that scene, but he's a so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? And he's hairy. You know, that scene in I believe it's called Way of the Dragon, when he fought Bruce Lee in that old Coliseum, and Bruce grabbed a chest full of that hair, and when he knocked his hand off of there, he had a handful of hair, and Bruce blew it off. You know, because he's hairy. He got hair all through the back, and you know, which some of them are very hairy. That they're actually, I think Chuck Norris is actually a Jake. You know what I'm saying? I don't see him as, I don't think he's an Edomite. I think he's a Jake. But yeah, so-called white people can be hairy. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what this is talking about. When it says in the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, there's a specific particular garment that in the Israelite customs we would dye them red, man, a particular shade of red, and this was describing that red, you know, that he closely resembled when he was born. You know, they were likening him to that garment, which that garment was I believe it was a badger's skin garment. You know, as a matter of fact, let's check that out. Badger's skin. Let's see. Ezekiel 16:10, it says, I clothed thee also with broidered work, and shod thee with badger's skin. There it is. And girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk. So the Lord, you know, he said he shod us with badger skin. You know what I'm saying? That's the garment that we would dye red, that they likened Esau to his color when he was born. As a matter of fact, real quick, let's get, let me go here. Because I believe we use some type of beetle to dye those, to get that red. Let's check real quick. Salakia, bear with me. Let's see what type of beetle was used in Israelite customs to dye garments red. Yeah, let's see what we get. AI overview says Israelite customs used a Mediterranean scale insect, primarily Kermes vermilio, or Kermes biblicus, to produce a prized crimson red dye for garments and religious fabrics, known in the Hebrew as, what is it? Tola at Hashani, scarlet worm. These female insects live on Kermes oak tree, producing a brilliant dye often called Kermes or worm's red. It says source, it is not technically a beetle, but a parasite. So, okay, so it can be mistaken as a beetle. Wingless female scale insect that attaches to the Kermes oak. So there it is, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the, you know, that's the that's where that's the red, you know, and as you can see, it says it produces a prized crimson red dye. You know what I'm saying? So that's the color that it was describing Esau as when he came out. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment. That garment was a badger skin, and we used this beetle, well, what's not a beetle, Kermes vermilio, this insect, to create that red dye, which is a crimson red. Key points, man. You know, because the scriptures call this dude a scarlet, this system of the scarlet colored beast. You know what I'm saying? Which, when that word scarlet, as a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Salakia. I don't know how it's spelled. Revelation 17:3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And of course, we know that's talking about those 7 Edomite empires or rulerships, those kingdoms. And you know, it says that the woman that sat upon it, which represents America, man. You know, which it says scarlet colored. As a matter of fact, let's real quick, let me go on into this so we can get this word scarlet real quick. Oh, wow. Wow. Boy. Look at Satan working, man. Get this word scarlet real quick. See what it is. It says, let me let this devil say this. This is G 2847.
Strong's G 2847. Cockiness. Cockiness.
Cockiness. And when you go into the outline of biblical usage, what's the first thing there? Crimson. There it is. And that's the color. So that scarlet is a crimson red, which represents the color of the beetle, or the vermes. I can't remember. Kermes, Salakia, vermilio, insect that was used to dye the badger skin the crimson red, which the Bible likened Esau's color to when he came out. You know, that's what's going on here. So, and that crimson, the word comes from crime, man. That's where you get the word crime from. You know, the first crime family, those bourgeois, you know, so which was so-called white people, man. You know what I'm saying? So the scriptures don't lie. The scriptures give you all the keys and all the elements and keys and everything you need to put the puzzle together and figure out who's who and what's what, man. You know, if you just follow the script, you know. Don't stop looking at the lands these people are in, or you know. No, bro. Esau moved. Everything is people ain't in their proper places, perspective places in these times, man. You know. So yeah, man. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment, like the scriptures say. You know. And these people are clearly red. You know. It's not hard. As a matter of fact, when you read, let's get this one real quick. When you read in Revelation the 6th chapter. And verse 4, what does it say? And there went out another horse, which horse represents power, that was red. There it is. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And they that should, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword, which who got the blessing of the sword? You know? That's the red horse. That's that power. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand / power. Because you go on that word hand, is power. You know, the earth is given into the power of the wicked, which we know the wicked to be the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child, man. You know what I'm saying? So that great sword, real quick. Let's get it real quick in Genesis, the 27th chapter, and we're gonna drop right down to, and we'll read just to get some context. We'll read verse 34, and then we'll drop down. Genesis 27 and 34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father, because Isaac got the blessing, you know. which it was written that way. So let's drop. So we know this is talking about Esau. So let's drop down now to verse 40 and get to the point. Well, let's just start at verse 39. Going into the blessing that he received. Genesis 27 and 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And that's why everything has worked for this devil. That's why he's lived in all the best places, the nice places, and had the riches, the money, and that's his part of his blessing. It's temporary. He's in his kingdom, man. He's in his heaven. He's exalted, lofty, that lofty positioning. That's heaven, but he's getting ready to go to the bottom. He's getting ready to go to hell, man. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, breaks all that down. 1 through 14 is heaven, being lofty, being exalted on high, above, and 15 through 68 is being on the bottom, nothing. You're on the bottom. You're worthless. You ain't worth shit. You're gonna become proverbs and bywords. People gonna call you. They ain't nobody gonna like you. Nothing's gonna work for you. That's the curses. So Deuteronomy 28 chapter is your heaven and hell, man. 1 through 14 is heaven. 15 through 68 is hell, man. They're not places. Although heaven, yeah, I get it, Christians, yeah, you die and go to the spirit realm, which is known as a realm of heaven, but it's the spirit realm. You don't stay there. You're gonna come back into earth, man. After the third to fourth generation, man. A lot of you Christians are through. Y'all bugged out, and you ain't gonna receive it, but that's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? And there's three heavens. There's three realms of heaven. Here on the earth, rulership, which your sky when you look up into it, where you can see your planes flying, that's one heaven. Then when you go further out, you come to what we call the ozone layer, or what the Bible calls the firmament, and then you have your second heaven, and that's where he has his space stations and satellite, his satellite and space stations and all that. Then you have it out in the further reaches. That's your second heaven. The further reaches, Salakia, and the fourth dimension is where the spirit realm is, which is your third heaven. Paul speaks of it. It's in Psalms, and it's in the Psalms. Paul spoke of it, and so that's what's going on, man. So when the Bible speaks of the kingdom of heaven, it's talking about here on earth, man. Matthew 6 and 10. It's in the Lord's Prayer. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So the kingdom of heaven is going to be here on earth, So you Christians need to get it together. But it says, Genesis 27:39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew from heaven from above. And everything has worked. These devils have, they've had that golden era, they trying to get it back again, but it's not happening, man. This devil was a golden cup in the Lord's hand for a period of time. Everything worked. You know what I'm saying? You've had your time. Now it's up, not getting that back. You don't get two, you've had yours. We're at the end of the world now. 2 Ezra 6 and 9, Esau is the end of the world. We're at the end of your world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's the Israelites' time, man. But here's the point, verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live. That's the point. We can read the rest of the verse, but that's the point. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And that happened during the times of the Renaissance period, man. Because them devils was in chains during the time of the Dark Ages, So the Renaissance came around. Yeah, they got back in power. White supremacy became the thing again. And that's where we're at all the way to this very day, man. You know what I'm saying? And by thy sword shalt thou live. That's the Revelation, the 6th chapter. He's given a great sword to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another. And they've been doing that. They've had all these world wars, and it's just, that's Esau's thing, man. It's his MO. That's what he does, So, but these scriptures clearly break down who these people are, man, So, hey, man, I just want to do a little quick hit that the point is made. Look at these devils, man. Let's get one more look at these devils. Look at this dude, man. Red all over like a hairy garment. Very easy to see, man. These are the Edomites. These are the true biblical red Hebrew Edomites. They're Hebrew. They're Shemitic, but they're not the Israelites, man, which is the chosen line, you know. So yeah, they're through, man. So, without any further, hey, hopefully this was edifying, Salakia. Hopefully this was edifying to the hopeful elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Wahab Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayath Shah, Double Shalom.